Hey friends, we are in officially winter season in New England, and it's the morning. Two things that, I have mixed feelings about. The cold in the morning. I'm a self-proclaimed night owl. But today we're going to talk about a little bit of self-care topic. I am personally on my way to a dermatologist, and why does that matter? Why does that have anything to do with personal finances? Hang on, speed bump. It matters because sometimes it's hard to do those things. It is not exactly comfortable to go to the dermatologist and get vulnerable and face what you think is judgment, because you're sitting there and you're going to be exposed to the doctor, and it's really uncomfortable. It's hard to go there. I had to talk myself into not canceling this appointment because I'm like, I really don't want to go. It's early morning. I had so many excuses to not do this, but speed bump, I'm doing it. And guess what? I'm going to get there. I've been there before. And what I realized last time, it was all in my head, but the discomfort is there nonetheless. And you go there, and it's very similar to personal finances. It's like you're afraid to kind of bare your soul to somebody that you don't know that well necessarily. It feels very vulnerable. You're feeling uncomfortable. You're in a place where you have to bear it all in some ways to have progress. So same thing with going to the dermatologist. They've got to see your skin to check it out. So, put those pieces together. But my point is that you get there, you go into this frazzle of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get there, they're going to judge me, and I'm going to feel so uncomfortable. You get there and the doctor's super cool, really happy to see you, glad you're there taking care of yourself to prevent something, God forbid, worse, that they would detect it ahead of time. And that's really when it comes to self-care, it's very similar. It's your finances is part of your holistic well-being. And sometimes it starts off with a little bit of that fear of like, okay, I've got to face the thing. I've got to go do the thing that I don't necessarily want to do. But once you do it and you realize it wasn't that bad, you're more comfortable coming back to it. And so that's kind of the encouragement I want to give you. Shadows in this thing are crazy, the morning glare, so I'm not going to make this a long one. But anyway, that was my point, is that you should totally, sorry, see the shadow shining all over my face. When it comes to taking a look at your finances, doing that hard thing, it doesn't have to be this huge ordeal. It might just be that first phone call. Call up that financial coach and say, hey, could you just take a look and give me a snapshot? That's what I'm going to do today. Hey, could you just take a look, make sure everything looks okay? If not, can we talk about it, make the next step, make the next plan? That's really what it's like working with a financial coach. They're saying like, hey, we're not here to judge. I'm not here to judge. I can tell you that much. I'm here to help because I've been there and I know how scary that feels. And for me, it was like, I didn't even know how to understand my paycheck. So I started with the most basic. Where's my money coming from? And it was embarrassing for me to admit, being in corporate finance, that I really didn't have a handle on where my money was going in my paycheck. So I was like, let me start with the thing that confuses me the most, or that's kind of stopping me right out of the gate, is what's my money doing once I get paid, before it gets to my bank account? What's my money doing? So I started super simple, and then it progressed. So I want to encourage you, even if it feels scary, it's only going to be difficult at first. It's not always going to be overwhelming. It's just starting that really is the biggest hurdle sometimes. So do that thing, do the hard thing in your head, and you'll realize that people are actually cheering you on and supporting you and are happy to see you and want to see you grow. So if you're thinking about this in the new year, about taking a look at your finances, whether you're hiring a coach or talking to a friend about it, or a family member, or asking somebody for help getting started, maybe it's just starting on YouTube and looking up some videos. But again, working with a coach, the pros and cons is you can do anything yourself. It's all possible. There's tons of information out there. You can have a done with you approach, which is kind of where a coach plays that role, just like a fitness coach. You're having somebody who's not doing it all for you, but they're coming alongside you. And then there's a done for you approach, which speeds things up, but you don't necessarily learn and gain the tools to sustain it yourself going forward. So you have to decide, what's right for you, but I encourage you to do it. Take a look at your finances. It's not that scary. It can feel that scary, but there are resources, so go do it. All right, signing off. Bye for now. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. See you next week.